What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. We're out at the east branch of the Brandywine Creek here. This is the delayed harvest section here. One of the few places you can fish for trout before opening day. And supposedly this got stocked about 3 weeks ago. We're just going to try and figure out where the fish are today. Very cold out this morning, probably about 30 degrees, but it's going to go up to about 60 later in the afternoon. So we got layered up right now. Hopefully gonna have to shed a few layers later. I just want to show you guys the new setup I got here before we get started. So I upgraded my Ugly Stik GX2 to the Ugly Stik Elite. It's got a cork handle, a little more comfort for me. I just like the way it looks a little bit better. And then my reel, I upgraded to a Shimano Sedona 2500. And then we got the 4-pound monofilament, as we always do. That's the Leland S.O.S trout line that we're using. Now I have a trout magnet tied on right now, but actually what I wanted to do today is the past couple months I've been building up some subscriptions to Mystery Tackle Box. And I've been getting the elite box of trout lures for the past couple months. And what I did last night is I took a couple lures from each of those boxes that I had saved up, and I threw them all in this one box here. And what I did is basically every lure I thought might have a chance to work at this specific spot, I threw in this box for us to use today. So I'm gonna get something else tied on other than this trout magnet, and we're gonna try and use trout lures out of this box right here, and see if we can catch any fish today. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can find some fish today, and hopefully it doesn't take too long before my hands freeze. All right, so stick with it and stay tuned, and hopefully we can catch some fish for you guys today. All right, so the first lure we're gonna get started using today is the Northland Fishing Tackle Supercharged Impulse Reactionary Bait. Looks like it's small enough in presentation where it'll be effective, and that little thin tail looks like it'll give a lot of action. So I'm gonna get this tied on and see if we can do any damage with it. Bait tied on here, very sleek looking presentation. Now usually there's fish stocked up in this pool here, so I'm going to give this a few casts around here and see if we get any bites or chases. The sun hasn't risen over this section of the creek yet, so it's kind of hard to see if there's anything over here, but we're going to go to a few casts and see if I can see anything. I was wondering why I was having trouble casting there, but my eyelets there literally have ice frozen to them from the line. So that would be why that is happening. I knew it was going to be chillier today. I didn't think it was going to be this cold. Alright, now we should be good. My hands are converting into the solid state currently. Haven't had a bite yet, although I have seen a school of trout a little downstream, but they were hugging the bank closest to me, so they were a bit hard to target because they could see me. I had to step back a little bit, and I couldn't exactly get the angle right from where I was positioned. Usually they stock this whole section here, but not seeing anything yet. Hopefully on the other side of this tree there's some fish. Guys, I'm not quite sure what's going on with these fish today. I found one steady school of trout, and that's that. So I'm gonna try move downstream a little bit and try and find another school. I don't know why they're not feeding, but they're not even like chasing my lure or anything. I don't think the color should matter too much because this almost perfectly imitates like a little bait fish or shiner that they would feed on. I know they only got stocked 3 weeks ago, so they're probably not used to feeding on that type of food yet. but they should still want to hit something with this type of action on it. Maybe that particular school is just overfished since it's right off the trail, or maybe the sudden drop in temperatures from Saturday into Sunday has stunned them a little bit, and now it's going to be going back up to almost 60 today. They may feel a little off because of that, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep on exploring, and hopefully I'll have some better luck. We'll see. Alright guys, the sun is now out. It's almost about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to switch up my presentation to this Freedom Baits on a little creature bait here thing. I don't even know what to call it. Doesn't have a name of the bait, I believe. It's got little arms on it. I think this is going to work possibly slightly better than what I'm using now that it's a bit brighter outside. I'll probably end up keeping the same jig head. Let's see if that works. If not, then I think I'm going to go to the Euro Tackle EPF Swim, designed by Extreme Philly Fishing, and we'll see if that works. But right now we're going to take off this guy here and just rig up one of these Freedom Baits. There we go. That's our little presentation here. We'll see if that'll work. Hopefully we can catch a fish. There's definitely plenty down there. The only school I found this whole time. I don't know if they stock the lower end more. I'm at the upper end right now, so I'll probably fish downstream towards the lower end and see if they stocked down that way a bit better eventually. Alright guys, I am making the executive decision to jump upstream a bit in hopes to find better luck, because it looks like the stocking was very light up at this end. So far I've only found one population of trout in one single pool, and they're at like the worst possible angle possible. So I'm gonna go try and find a different spot. So bear with me, I'll be back when I have a new spot. Made it to this deeper pool here. I had a bite on the little Freedom Baits jig, but I switched it up to this paddle bug rig, mainly because it has a heavier jig head on it than what I was using before, and this is deeper hole, excuse me. I want that lure to get down in the water column faster so I can get to where these fish could possibly be hiding. I've already fished this hole with the Freedom Baits since I had the bite on there, but now I'm going to fish it over again with this paddle bug rig and see what else we can do. Still some holes left to fish if I don't get anything out of here, but we're gonna hope we can change our luck around, because things have not gone up to my standards yet. I do not like getting skunked, as I'm sure it goes for everyone, but I am very against the skunk. There you go, guys. Fish on, fish on. Get in the net. Yes. Finally. It took forever, but we got him on the paddle bug rig. Uh-oh. Lure's tangled in the net. All right, let me get this guy unhooked here, and then I'll show you guys what we got going on here. All right, it's just a little rainbow we got here, but our first fish of the day, so I am very happy about that. Did it make the freezing hands and iced over rod worth it? Maybe not, but we at least got one today. All right, guys, time to go ahead and release our little rainbow trout here. There he is. There he goes. Back in the water he goes. Came from right in this deep pool here on the paddle bug rig. Like I said, I wanted to switch to that 1/32 ounce jig head to get deeper in the water column, and thankfully it panned out for us here. This is one of the lures that came in my mystery tackle box that I thought would work, but I wasn't sure about it because I never used it before. But it catches trout, proven. My hands are going to be freezing cold again now that I just released that fish into the water, but the adrenaline will warm that back up here shortly. Where there's one fish, there's usually more, so maybe we'll find a couple more out of this hole. First fish on my new setup actually as well. Yep, there's another one. That's a bit nicer one. It might be about the same size. Nah, it's definitely nicer. Definitely nicer. There we go. Number doso on the day. Turn our luck around just like that. That is definitely a bit better size one. Gonna go ahead and take a shot and release them. Alright guys, time to release our rainbow trout here. There we go. There he is. Go back in the water he goes. There he is. Swim back off to his home. It's two. One hole. Almost back-to-back casts. There's one cast in between there, so 2 casts after that one. After the first one, we got a second one. Trout fishing isn't always easy, especially delayed harvest fishing. It's not like every single hole in existence is stocked full of trout. It's more of a, they'll give you like a 1.5 mile stretch of creek. They'll say this is the lower limit, this is the upper limit. And unless you're local, it's a guessing game of where they stocked at. And I'm not local to this area. It's about half hour from my house, but kind of local, but I've only fished here for trout twice before, so still a bit of a learning curve, but I'm satisfied so far. All right, guys. I walked upstream, downstream, upstream, and now back downstream again. I fished every possible hole that I could have fished that I know has fish in it. I even experimented with a few new holes and didn't have much luck there, but We did end up catching 2 trout today. Both were rainbow trout. I caught those both on the same lure. It was they call it a paddle bug rig. I believe it's made by Laker Lures or something along those lines. It was from a mystery tackle box that I had just gotten recently, and it had a 1/32 ounce jig head, which allowed us to fish some of the deep pools where some of these trout were hiding out at. And we are able to find success in that. Caught our 2 rainbow trout, and that was all that we were able to muster up today. I'll probably be back out again later, maybe film another video, more local this time. You compare this video to my last video, I caught 11 rainbow trout in my last video. I only caught 2 in this video, and that just comes down to different surroundings, different conditions, different rigs, and the challenge today was just being able to adapt to those different situations, try new things, and find something that worked to at least get something on the board today, which we ended up doing. I'm glad we were able to catch those fish because my hands were freezing. In the beginning of the video, my rod was, the eyelets were freezing over with the water being so cold. But we didn't give up. We kept pushing through it, and we ended up catching some fish and avoiding the skunk today. You won't always have great days of fishing, but when you have a tough day, just getting something makes it all worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Probably wasn't the most exciting, but shows you a little something about trying new things and trying to find success in that. So hopefully you learned a little something. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.